Carried. Quarterly update on the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act Improvement Plan. I don't know whether you want to speak to that, Dawn.
Sean is here.
Oh, right. Okay, Sean.
Hello. Well, just briefly, just an update. This is 4 months since we were last in front of you, and to give you some positive news that we have now either completed, initiated, or every recommendation of the Ombudsman's investigation of November last year is underway. So we have informed the Ombudsman of that today in his 6-monthly update. Some of the prime movers to embed this across the organisation have been increased training, which is now being extended to elected members. The Lagoima team has now moved to a new database system, which was quite a large undertaking, and one of the perceived weaknesses, one of the recommended changes we make to strengthen our capacity. And another aspect too, which I should draw your attention to in the report, is a parallel process we've been working on releasing PX reports from primarily the last triennium. We are now over 50% through that process, and that is a considerable amount of work. And to reflect that change, we have seen a marked reduction in the amount of PX information now going into into council community boards and committees. 2 years ago, this was running at 35% in PX. It is now down to 5% of reports. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you wish.
Does anyone have any questions? Yanni?
At our board, we were told that ELT issued a directive that that briefings were public excluded, and the public were generally unable to attend. Mm-hmm. We've had 2 cases where people have made deputations in public, and then we've had information in the public excluded briefing where they've been we've been told that they cannot attend. Are you aware of that sort of practice, and how would we, if we wanted to change it, what's the process for us at a governance level to send a directive that it would be okay for people in the community to attend workshops or briefings where it's relevant to the issue that they've raised?
Yanni, I don't think that that's an appropriate question for the person who's leading the work on the improvement plan. I think that is a question for the Chief Executive, and I don't know whether the Chief Executive wants to respond to it. It's not relevant to this report. But
I was just 1A.
Yeah, okay, I'll hand it over.
I do not understand that position. Briefings, if we have briefings for members where we're doing our workshop work, etc., those are our private working meetings, and they are appropriate for us as your officers to brief you in whatever matters that may be. We often also do briefings where the other parties are involved, including the public, and I'm looking at John, which is why he was nodding at me, and that's correct, John, isn't it? So your assumption, or where it's come from, I do not know, Yanni, but that is not the case.
He was specifically referring to community board meetings.
So at a community board briefing, if, say, the elected members or the person that's made the deputation wishes to come to the briefing that's been scheduled, then what's the process to enable that person to attend? Because what we got told... No,
Yanni, I've just said that it's not appropriate for this report. I gave the Chief Executive an opportunity to respond to it, but John's come to the table, and so I will invite him to respond to the question as it relates to community boards. But I'm going to assume that the process is the same, and that it's on a case-by-case basis as to whether it is a possibility for communities to be, community members to be involved, and it will depend on the circumstances and whether confidential advice is being provided or not. But John?
That's exactly right, Leanne, and perhaps if Yanni can provide me with details of the situation, we can provide a reply and circulate it to all other councillors.
I think there was an example, and I'll use one that's done and dusted. There was an example a couple of years ago where the where there was an issue around the district plan and which subsequently led to some changes being made in the district plan. The information was provided in a setting which didn't result in the matter coming forward to the council, and so therefore, it wasn't a transparent process, and that didn't assist in people's interpretation of what they had been advised. So sometimes I think it's better to have a transparent process, but you're saying that on a case-by-case basis that can be dealt with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like in terms of changing the policy setting, which, as I understand at the moment, briefings are public excluded unless...
Look, Yanni, briefings are private. They're not public excluded. They're not open to the public.
They're not subject to Lagoima.
They're not subject. Well, they are subject to Lagoima.
Oh, sorry, the Meetings Act. Pardon me.
They're not under the Meetings Act side of things, but they are under the Official Information Act.
So what I'm really interested in is how we get greater transparency of those briefings, and is there a way that we can have more
Yanni,
of them?
I'm saying yes, you can raise this issue, just not here and now.
Right. And then the other question I had was around the local governance statement. I appreciate staff have just sent a response through. So we didn't get to sign that off, even though it's a governance statement. And I think I was told 3 years ago we didn't sign it off either. So I just find it weird at a governance level we wouldn't sign off on a governance statement that sets out the principles by which we operate, including issues like transparency and access to information. I'm just interested in how it's gone from being signed off by governance to now not being signed off by governance.
I can discuss that. I'm just questioning whether I should in this forum now. But I can certainly give the information.
No, look, I haven't read anything that's come through from staff. So let us take this offline, and it can be addressed. It's been moved and it's been seconded. So it was moved by Sam, seconded by Jake. Is there any discussion? I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.